Welcome to Analytics with Nags. In this video, we are going to see about what is row context or filter context in DAX. If you are new to Power BI and if you are really struggling to understand what is this row context and filter context mean, this is the video for you. Let's understand it with its definition or with simple language. Like row context in terms like it does calculation for each row, meaning like if you want to perform some calculations, then it is called your row context. That is, for each row this calculation will be executed in the table. That is your row context. It is as simple as that. Whereas your filter context, set of filters that applied before the table arrives for use, meaning like if you want to have sales amount and there are different filters you will apply, like it can be from slicers or visuals or filter pane. Say for example it's 2017 year and country India and city is Chennai. So these are different filters applied, then you get this results or this calculation getting evaluated. That is called your filter context. I hope these two definition clarifies you what is row context and filter context. Let's try to understand in Power BI. If you haven't subscribed this channel yet, hit the button right now to learn the concepts in Power BI. We are exploring Power BI using business scenario Naga Garments. Today, for this business, he wants to understand or want to know the profit. So the formula for profit is here. That is, he wants to calculate sales amount minus cost amount. That has to be calculated for each row. So let's see it in demo. I have made the template ready to save your time. That takes a lot of time for load and create. So let's try to understand the filter context first. As I said, we have created a new measure here that is very simple as that. Total sales, sum of sales amount. Okay. This is the measure I have here. Let us try to analyze in different perspective. I want to see the total sales by category. So I have category wise split. Then I want to see the same total sales by location. Okay. So with this, maybe I want to analyze with the different year as well. Let's put that one over here. Okay. Now, what does this filter context mean? Now, this 5196 is my total sales amount without any filters. Okay. And when you see this particular cell, that same total sales, when I click on this, I've used this total sales here and as well as here, as well as here. So this is without any filters. When you see this particular cell, consider this cell. So the filters are implicitly applied, like the Chennai is a filter and 2020 is a year is a filter. So these are the two filter context of this particular cell. That is how you need to understand. Now when I click on this year 90, or I will click on this online order. Okay. So when you see this along with these filters for this particular cell, earlier it was 771250. Now when I click on online order, along with these filters, this external slicer filters also applied. Even I can choose any one of the filters over here. I mean the casual wear. In casual wear, what is my Chennai sales on 2020? So basically the same total sales is calculated based on different filters applied. This is what your filter context is all about. Let's try to understand the row context. Row context have created a profit. As we discussed before, for this business we want to calculate the profit. So I've used a sum x. We will cover in later videos what is sum and sum x. For now, it has to be calculated at row level, like sales amount minus cost amount. Why? If you see the data, the sales amount and cost amount, the sales amount and cost amount, profit should be executed for each row. It is not total sales minus cost amount, because the cost amount for each item is different and sales is calculated at the row level. So you need to calculate profit at each row. Then you need to calculate your profit. Okay, that gives you a proper profit value. So with this, what I'm going to see is, I'm going to see this profit over here. So this is my profit. So it is as simple as that. Your row context is nothing but you are executing the calculation at each row. You see the difference, there is no aggregations here in the column. You have on top of that, right? I mean, sumx is an iterator function that will do the calculation for each row. That is your row context. Now, one point I want to make here is the row context is calculating at each row. Then whether these filters also apply? Yes. So when you click on online order, then these external filters are calculated first, applied first, then your row context will be executed. So that is the main understanding about your row context and filter context. Your filter context are applied, then your row context values are executed for each row. With this understanding, let us try to explore little complex scenario to understand it better. Now I'm introducing a new function called calculate that does a lot of magic. I can say a magic function in DAX. Let's try to understand this. So calculate, I want to have sales of Chennai. Okay, what calculate does is like evaluates an expression in a context modified by filters, meaning like for this particular column, if there are any other filters, external filters applied, ignore that, consider only the internal filters. That is what it meaning. Let us see it in a demo. So I've created a column, measure, sorry. So measure, that is Chennai sales. What it does is it calculates the sales amount for Chennai only, irrespective of any filters that applied in location. So basically it overrides your filter context based on the columns you provided in your calculate function. Let us try to understand this. So let me put this measure in label. So my Chennai sales is 1850k, that is my total sales. Okay, now I just remove this one. Instead I will use this table. Now here I am seeing a location wise sales, right? So here my filter context applied, like for Bangalore this is my total sales, and online order also applied. So this is your filter context. Now I want to see the Chennai sales here. Let me put that column measure here, Chennai sales. Now see what happens. Like the Chennai sales is 1850400 is repeated for all the locations, because what I'm saying here in this measure, calculate the sales amount and you do the calculation only for Chennai. Okay, ignore whatever filter context applied. So this is your filter context, the total sales, Bangalore, Chennai and Hyderabad, this column, that is my total sales. Okay, whereas in this context you are ignoring your external filters on this column, the data location. Okay, so the calculate function does a lot of magics. Now one more thing is like when you click on online order, you see again the filter context works for this measure as well. Since my external filter is online order, I'm not instructing anything over here, the internal filters here. So that applied, and again the internal filters also applied. This is my Chennai sales for online order, that is repeated here. So if you want to override your filter context of particular column, then you can use calculate function. We will see more about the calculate function in my next video. And for this business, we have calculated profit here as we discussed, and we'll see further what can be analyzed from these measures. If you like this video, share and subscribe to the channel and comment below for your queries. Do remember that data is your asset.